very complex, and I needed to simplify it to be able to fit it into one presentation. So then I started thinking on simpler terms, and I came up with what would happen if there was no atmosphere, because nothing would exist. So that brings me to my topic, the atmosphere. So just a little baseline information for those of you who don't know a lot about the atmosphere. There's 5 different layers. Some people only say that there's 4, but today we're going to go with 5. So the first one's the exosphere. It's the topmost layer, and although there's no fixed boundary, it says that the top of it is about halfway to the moon from the Earth's surface. So that's how high up our atmosphere goes. And then next is the thermosphere, and this is where a lot of satellites actually orbit the Earth. Next layer coming down is the mesosphere, and this is where a lot of the meteors from outer space come into our atmosphere and burn up. So the atmosphere protects us from the meteors that come in from outer space. The stratosphere is the next one, and this is considered the ozone layer. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the ozone layer. And this is where the UV light is converted into heat to keep us warm so that we don't freeze. And the troposphere is the bottommost layer, and this is where we live and where the weather happens, like rain, snow, and everything you can think of. So the importance of the atmosphere: water and gases are within the atmosphere, and photosynthesis is able to happen because of the atmosphere. So if there's no photosynthesis, then plants can survive, and the food chain would not happen because the plants start the food chain. So none of the animals would be able to feed off of any plants. And also the sun rays would burn everything on the earth if they were not stopped by the atmosphere. So they would be very harmful. And there would be no sounds such as planes flying and birds chirping and cars running. If there was no air to travel through, the sound waves would not be able to travel. So, and then the weather, we would have no weather, and all rocks on the earth would be flat and not touched because the atmosphere is what erodes the rocks. So atmospheric pressure is very important because the normal temperature on the earth, the average is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. If there's no atmospheric pressure, it would be raised to about 214 degrees Fahrenheit, which would burn everyone. So it's important that the temperature remains at a constant. So atmospheric pressure is defined as the force exerted by the weight of air. So the Earth's oceans would boil away into space, and there would be no more water. So it's really important. And astronauts, this is how they are able to survive in space. They have a portable atmosphere, which is their suit. So there's a picture, and I have a little video. land without touching any water. And one side of the earth would be scorching hot, the side facing the sun, and the other side would be ice cold. So you would either burn or you would freeze. And in the north, Canada would be completely underwater, and Spain would stay mostly above the water, with the United States being about the border. In the south, Africa would be connected to Madagascar, and Australia would be joined to New Guinea and Indonesia. So my final question is, what is life if humans cannot live on the earth? So bringing it to simple terms, if there was no atmosphere and no air, we would not be able to question anything in life. And these are my